Ladies and gentlemen, the world is actually very shocked over America's response and handling of coronavirus. America put on a good front about having high IQs and being highly intelligent and inventing medicine and science and just the creator of everything. And now they know all of that mess is fake. Just like the rest of us know it's fake, the world now knows all of this intelligence and stuff is fake. So now this came out in the Washington Post, a crisis that shocked the world. America's response to coronavirus. America's a very dysfunctional place, you know. So anybody from another country, if you want to ask questions. We'll tell you the truth over here at the New Black Media. We're not going to put on airs and be all fake like the mainstream media is in America. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen the economy tank. We have seen America go into a recession during COVID-19. We have seen businesses and schools and many industries close. And we have seen the protest out in the streets. And America has done poorly through the entire thing. In fact, y'all, I was looking at an article probably back in May. People were going to ask America to come to their countries and help them. But after they saw how this country was fumbling around, they decided not to ask. And they're probably better off not asking. Why would you want people to come help and coronavirus is number one in their country? So, ladies and gentlemen, the struggle continues. People are very, very angry. Many folks felt this could have been preventable if the Trump administration would have acted immediately. Many are mad at state politicians, and they are mad at all of the mixed messages about wearing a mask and not wearing a mask, out in public. After 6 months of the coronavirus in America, the country has failed spectacularly to contain it. The country's ineffective response has shocked observers all over the planet. Many countries have rigorously driven infection rates nearly to zero. In the United States, coronavirus transmission is out of control. The national response is fragmented, shot through with political rancor and cultural war and divisiveness. Now, America has always done poorly socially on social issues. So, coronavirus is only really just making it worse, but those social issues have, America gets a big F on social issues, always have. When it comes down to things like racism, the divisions are just on autopilot at this point, and it's been going on this way for hundreds of years. So a lot of these people, they want to take the blame and put it on someone else, but there's no way they could possibly do it. Even on their best day, they can't do it. It just doesn't work. So testing shortcomings that revealed themselves in March have become acute in July. Yeah, because testing is still poor, with week-long waits for results leaving the country blind to real-time virus spread and rendering contact tracing to nearly irrelevant. The United States may be heading towards a new spasm of wrenching economic shutdowns or to another massive spike in preventable deaths from COVID-19, or both. Sorry about that, y'all. As usual, somebody showed up at my door. So, the United States may be heading towards a new spasm of wrenching economic downturns or to another massive spike in preventable deaths from COVID 19 or both. How the world's richest country got into this dismal situation is a complicated tale that exposes the flaws and fissures in a nation long proud of its ability to meet all sorts of challenges. Really? Really? They met this challenge? No, they didn't. No. See, what people around this world didn't realize, and see, many of us know this historically, these folks just know how to talk a good game. But at the end of the day, not about nothing. Okay, not about nothing. In fact, if they didn't hoop and holler and draw attention to themselves, who would really pay attention to them? No one. The fumbling of the virus was not a fluke. The American coronavirus fiasco has exposed the country's incoherent leadership, self-defeating political polarization, and a lack of investment in public health and persistent socioeconomic and racial inequities that have left millions of people vulnerable to disease and death. Lack of planning. See, one thing I was told even by many people within the Black community, oh, well, these folks, they know how to plan ahead and they know how to do this. No, they don't. No, they don't. It just appear that way. Again, people can make things appear a certain way, but when you really look deep within, all those qualities that you think you're looking at aren't there at all. Not there at all, y'all. But one mainstay about America, racism has been with America for 500 years, and they still remain strong with it to this very day. In fact, they try to pass it on to other people. It just doesn't work. Okay, so in this big, sprawling, demographically and culturally diverse nation, the decentralization political structures gave birth to a patchwork of policies that don't make sense when applied to a virus that ignores state boundaries and city limits. While other countries endured some of the same setbacks, few has suffered from all of the simultaneous catastrophe that America is suffering from. If there was a mistake to be made in this pandemic, America has made all of them. I just threw that in. It goes with the story, don't it? The single biggest miscalculation was rushing to reopen the economy while the virus was still spreading at high rates through much of the country, experts say. And many had advised against reopening, and they did it anyway. And then they brought up this laughable thing talking about, well, we can reopen safely. No, you can't. No, you can't. As long as you got an airborne virus out here, you can't reopen shit. These people say so many dumb things, you just gotta laugh. You can't reopen anything safely if there's an airborne virus that's still spreading. You know what it is? They play around with words, all this semantic stuff, but at the end of the day, it don't mean nothing. All right. Epidemiologists said as far back as early March was to crush and curb and drive down the rate of the viral transmission to the point that new infections were few and far between. Many countries did just that. But see, those countries, and never lose sight of this one thing, ladies and gentlemen. In this country, people refuse to stay in, they refuse to wear a mask. They refuse to follow whatever policies are out here. They won't do it. And these countries where they don't have much of it anymore, those folks cooperated. See, that's the part of the story that America won't tell you. Those countries, the populations cooperated. In this country, you got a large population of defiant people. And then when you say this, they'll say, that ain't the reason why it's spreading. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The United States did not follow the expert advice. Now the curve is crushing America. We didn't have to stick to, you know, they didn't have to stick to anything unreasonable overseas. When they came out with policies, their policies actually made sense. America swears up and down it makes sense and everything, and it don't. So anyway, many countries started putting policies as far back as March, April, and May, and now their viruses are minimal, at least for now. It doesn't mean it's going to stay like that because, again, remember, COVID has no cure. If we had really strong guidance from local, state, and national leaders, maybe we would have sustained the determination to get the curve all the way down to zero. He said, now we're on the upswing, and I don't quite see the top of the upswing yet. America, the outlier. Other countries have managed to avoid the kind of dramatic viral resurgence that is happening in America. Spain, Italy, Germany, and France, all devastated by the virus months ago, drove coronavirus cases and deaths relatively to low levels. The United Kingdom has been an outlier in Europe with one of the highest per capita death tolls in the world, but after suppressing transmission, it has not seen a major rebound. And in Asia, the picture is radically different. Taiwan, baseball fans sit in the stands and watch their teams play. Japan has fewer than 1,000 deaths from COVID, the illness caused by coronavirus. South Korea has fewer than 300. Vietnam has recorded no deaths from the virus. The death rate from COVID-19 in the United States look like that of countries with vastly lower wealth, healthcare. You know what it is. Healthcare technically has never been good in America, but they throw these high price tags on and they sell to you something that's really mediocre at the end of the day. That's what this country does. And they've gotten away with it for so long that people think the system is good when it's never been good. And of course, America has the technical infrastructure, but look, doing poor with everything. America's mishandling of the pandemic has defied most expert predictions. In October, not long before the novel coronavirus began sickening people in China, a comprehensive review ranked the pandemic preparedness of 195 countries. The project called Global Health Security Index, and spearheaded by the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security and the Nuclear Threat Initiative, assigned scores of countries as a way to warn them of the risk of a threat of infectious outbreaks. With a score of 83.5 out of 100, the United States ranked number one. They ranked you number one, and look at where you are now. You're last. You're last. How did the nation get caught so flat-footed? by not really trying, said Beth Cameron, who helped lead the project for the Nuclear Threat Initiative. Hmm. So you remember there was a pandemic team that was already in place that Donald Trump decided to disband when he took office. The White House says positions on the disband team were absorbed into another office, which is BS. Okay. So it just goes into Florida, and we know Florida is doing very badly. And America is shutting down many locations that they allegedly reopened. And the way things look, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back to square one. I believe we already are back to square one in many parts of the country. And it's only a matter of time for the places where it kind of got a little more stable, it's going to kick back up again. You know why? Because people travel. And people are traveling, believe it or not, and taking vacations during this time of, a lot of the lockdown and reopenings and all that stuff happening. And then you're hearing about reopening the schools, which I'm starting to see a lot of people are flat out refusing. So I don't think that's going to go over as well as they think. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this article. I mean, it says a lot, but it's really speaking the truth about America. It has done very poor. So they said the world is shocked at how bad America is doing with this whole thing. You wouldn't think this would be happening with all of the high IQ people we got here, the inventors of medicine and science. You wouldn't think this would be going on. But, because there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of lies, and a lot of perpetrating that's going on in America. This is where we are. This is where America is with all of its high IQ people here. Sir, man, this serves your asses right for real. It really does. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.